whether it is a reversible or irreversible process during free expansion of a gas, whether it is reversible or irreversible, comma, no work is done. No work is done because W equals minus P external into dV into delta V. This is the expression for work. Work is equal to, this is the work done during isothermal irreversible expansion of a gas. W is equal to minus P into dV, where P is the external pressure. So here in isothermal, free expansion, P external is equal to 0. There will be no pressure inside the vacuum. Therefore, P external equals 0. Therefore, 0 into delta V is equal to 0. Therefore, W is equal to 0. That is, no work is done either on the system or by the system. This is point number 1. Point number 2, in isothermal and free expansion, isothermal and free expansion, comma, temperature equals constant. Temperature equals constant and W equals 0. Since it is a free expansion, no work is done. W is equal to 0. Also, Joule showed by experiment that Q is also equal to 0. During isothermal free expansion, W is equal to 0 and temperature is kept constant, that is delta T is equal to 0. Since change in temperature is equal to 0, delta U is also equal to 0 because internal energy depends upon temperature. If temperature remains constant, internal energy also remains constant. That means change in internal energy equals 0. Therefore, that is, during isothermal free expansion, W equals 0, Q equals 0 and change in internal energy is also equal to 0. So these three things you have to bear in your mind. Expansion of a gas in a vacuum is called free expansion. During free expansion of a gas, no work is done because pressure remains constant in the vacuum. And also, during isothermal free expansion, W is equal to 0, delta T equals 0, delta U is also equal to 0, and also Joule shows that Q is also equal to 0. So these three things you have to remember. So now we will study another thermodynamic property similar to internal energy, and there is another thermodynamic function which is called enthalpy. What is enthalpy? So it is denoted by H. We have studied internal energy. Internal energy is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy possessed by the system. Its unit is joule or kilojoule. and it is a state function and an extensive property because it depends upon the state of the system and depends upon the quantity of matter present in the system, like that. So the change in internal energy can be measured, that is delta U is equal to U2 minus U1, internal energy in the final state minus internal energy in the initial state. So when the internal energy changes, internal energy of the system changes when work is done on the system or work is done by the system, heat enters into the system or heat goes out of the system, material enters into the system and material goes out of the system. So under that we have studied first law of thermodynamics, that is energy neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another form, or when one form of energy appears, an equivalent amount of another form of energy disappears. Also, the energy of an isolated system is constant. These are the different ways of stating first law. What is the mathematical expression? Delta U is equal to Q plus W, where delta U is equal to change in internal energy is equal to Q, the amount of heat absorbed by the system, plus W means work done on the system. If it is work done by the system, W is minus, then delta U is equal to Q minus W, like that. So here is another thermodynamic property, enthalpy. What is enthalpy? Enthalpy is the sum of internal energy and the work of expansion of the system. The sum of internal energy and the work of expansion together called as enthalpy. What is enthalpy? The sum of internal energy U and the work of expansion. So that is PV is called enthalpy of the system. Enthalpy of the system, H. So mathematically it is represented as H equals U plus PV. H equals U plus PV, where H equals enthalpy, U equals internal energy and PV equals work of expansion. The product of pressure and volume is called work of expansion. Coming to some of the nodes. So if you ask the definition of enthalpy, how to write? It is the sum of internal energy and the work of expansion, that is H equals U plus PV. You have to write this equation. Coming to node. So similar to internal energy, enthalpy is also an extensive property and a state function. So enthalpy H is a state function and an extensive property. It depends upon the state of the system and it depends upon the quantity of matter present in the system. Extensive property. So second one, what is the unit of enthalpy? Its unit is joule or kilojoule. Third one, the absolute value of enthalpy cannot be measured but the change in enthalpy can be measured when a system changes from one state to another state. So that is delta H is equal to H2 minus H1. What is delta H? Delta H equals enthalpy change. H1 equals enthalpy in the initial state of the system, and H2 equals enthalpy in the final state of the system. So the absolute value of enthalpy cannot be measured, but the change in enthalpy when a system changes from one state to another state can be measured using the formula delta H, that is change in enthalpy equals H2 minus H1, where H1 is the enthalpy in the initial state and H2 is the enthalpy in the final state. Next, point number 4, for chemical reactions, coming to the chemical reactions, enthalpy change of reactions. Point number 4, for chemical reactions, comma, enthalpy change of reactions, delta HR equals HP minus HR. So here enthalpy change of reaction delta HR, it is denoted as delta HR, is equal to HP minus HR, where HP equals enthalpy of products, and HR equals enthalpy of reactants. So enthalpy, it is also energy or heat content of the system is denoted by the equation H is equal to E plus PV. Enthalpy is the sum of internal energy plus the work of expansion. It is another thermodynamic property of a system given by the equation H equals E plus PV. Absolute value of enthalpy cannot be measured, but the change in enthalpy of a system when it changes from one state to another state can be measured. That is delta H equals H2 minus H1, where H1 is the enthalpy in the initial state and H2 is the enthalpy in the final state. In case of chemical reactions, enthalpy of reaction delta HR equals HP minus HR. For example, CS plus O2G gives CO2G. So these are reactants and these are products. So delta HR enthalpy of this equal to HP minus HR, enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants. So this is how we can calculate the enthalpy of reaction. So in detail we will study in the future hours. Next, the relationship between enthalpy change and internal energy change. What is the relationship between enthalpy change? What is the formula symbol for enthalpy change? Delta H. And internal energy change. Internal energy change is denoted by delta U. What is the relationship between internal energy change and enthalpy change? So we know the expression for enthalpy change, enthalpy expression for enthalpy H is equal to U plus PV. So this is an expression for enthalpy. For finite changes, very small changes at constant pressure. For very small changes at constant pressure, H becomes delta H. H becomes delta H and U becomes delta U plus P constant pressure. This is delta V. This is delta V. So delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. This is the relationship between delta H and delta U. The relationship between enthalpy change and internal energy change is equal to delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. P delta V. So let us consider some different cases. Case 1. If a system consists of only solids and liquids. If a system consists of only solids and liquids. So the change in volume here is equal to 0. When a reaction consists of only solids and liquids, if you heat, there will be no abrupt change in the volume. If you heat the solid, the volume of the solid does not changes to the greater extent. Similarly, if you heat a liquid, its volume does not changes to the greater extent. That means in case of solids and liquids, the change in volume delta V is equal to 0. In case of, if a system consists of only solids and liquids, there is no significant differences between delta H and delta U. So if a system consists of only solids and liquids, there is no significant differences between delta H and delta U. delta H and delta U, because on heating, the volumes of solids and liquids does not change to a significant amount. Therefore, delta V is equal to 0. Hence delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Therefore, delta H is equal to delta U. Delta H is equal to delta U, because delta V is equal to 0. So, next we will study case 2. Case 2. If a system consists of gaseous, if a system consists of gaseous reactants and products, delta V not equal to 0, the difference between delta H and delta U, enthalpy change and internal energy change is of significant. It is of more importance because the change in volume of the gases on heating is of much significant. Therefore, delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. So, in case of gaseous reaction, in a system containing solids and liquids, there is no much differences between delta H and delta U. That means delta H is almost equal to delta U. But in case of system containing gaseous reactants and products, delta H and delta U are not same, but they are different. This is because by heating, the change in volume of the gaseous products and reactants changes to an appreciable amount. Therefore, delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Next, case number 3. Case number 3. Delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V, which is also equal to QP at constant pressure. So, delta H equals delta U plus P delta V is also equal to QP. It is the amount of heat absorbed or liberated at constant pressure. So at constant volume, delta V is equal to 0. Delta V is equal to 0. Therefore, delta H is equal to delta U. Delta H is equal to delta U. Delta V is equal to 0. This term becomes is equal to 0. This is equal to QV at constant volume. That is, delta H is equal to QP and delta U is equal to QV. Delta H is equal to QP. It is the amount of heat absorbed at constant pressure. Delta U is equal to QV. It is the amount of heat absorbed at constant volume. So these things you have to bear in your mind. So enthalpy defined by the equation H is equal to U plus PV. Then change in enthalpy delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. P delta V. So the relationship between delta H and delta U, the relationship between delta H and delta U is given by the equation delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. In case of system consisting of only solids and liquids, delta V is equal to 0. Therefore, delta H is equal to delta U. That means there is no much difference between enthalpy change and internal energy change in case of system containing only solids and liquids. But in case of system consisting of gaseous materials, delta H is not equal to delta U because here delta V is not 0, since the system consisting of gaseous materials, the change in volume of the gaseous materials with increase in temperature is not neglected. Therefore, there is an appreciable differences between delta H and delta U, and that equation is delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Case number 3, if delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V is also equal to QP if the pressure is kept constant. At constant pressure, delta H is equal to QP. So at constant volume, delta V is equal to 0. So here delta H is equal to delta U is equal to QV at constant volume. So delta H is equal to QP and delta U is equal to QV. So now this is very important. Give the differences between enthalpy change and internal energy change. The differences between. So this is very important. Give the relationship between delta H and delta U for gaseous reactions. Give the relationship between delta H and delta U for gaseous reactions. So we know the relationship between delta H and delta U is equal to delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. P delta V. But for n moles of an ideal gas, what is ideal gas equation? PV is equal to nRT. This is an ideal gas. So if the number of moles changes, volume also changes at constant pressure, or P delta V is equal to delta N into RT. You can write P delta V. If the volume changes, number of moles also changes. Therefore, P delta V is equal to delta N RT. So substituting the value of P delta V as delta n RT in this equation. Delta H is equal to delta U plus RT delta n. So this is very important equation. So this is the relationship between delta H and delta U in case of gaseous reaction. So this is the relationship between delta H and delta U in gaseous reactions. So here what is delta H equals? Delta H equals enthalpy change. Delta U equals internal energy change. R equals gas constant. T equals absolute temperature. And delta N equals Pg minus PR. Pg minus Rg. Pg minus Rg. What is Pg? So that is equals number of moles of gaseous products. Number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. So Pg, this is Pg means number of moles of gaseous products. This is Rg, number of moles of gaseous reactants. This is delta N. So if you ask what is the relationship between delta H and delta U in case of gaseous reactants, you have to write this equation. This is very important. Delta H is equal to delta U plus RT delta N. RT delta N. So now we will study the different cases now. So this is the very important equation, the relationship between delta H and delta U. If you ask generally the relationship between delta H and delta U, this is the relationship between delta H and delta U in general. But in case of gaseous reactions, delta H is equal to delta U plus RT delta N. So case number 1, if delta N equals 0, when delta N becomes equal to 0, that is Pg equals Rg, comma, delta H equals delta U. When delta N equals 0, that is Pg is equal to Rg, delta H equals delta U. Example, H2G plus I2G, H2G plus I2G gives 2HIG, hydrogen plus iodine gives hydrogen iodide, or I will write like this. So sorry. 2HIG gives H2G plus I2G. So these are reactants and these are products. So here what is PG? Number of gaseous products, number of moles of gaseous products. So the products, gaseous, hydrogen is also gas, iodine is also gas. These are the products. Number of moles of products, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. PG means number of moles of gaseous products, PG is equal to G. So here these are reactants. What is RG? Number of moles of gaseous reactants is also equal to 2. So PG, what is delta N? Delta N is equal to PG minus RG, that is equals 2 minus 2, that is equals 0. So what is the relationship between delta H and delta U? Delta H is equal to delta U plus RT delta N. RT delta N. So when delta N equals 0, the whole things become 0. Therefore delta H is equal to delta U. So when delta H becomes delta U, when PG becomes equal to RG, delta N is equal to 0. What is delta N? Number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. Delta N is equal to 0, then delta H is equal to delta U. This is very important. When delta N is equal to 0, delta H is equal to delta U. Case number 2, if delta N is greater than 0, if delta N is greater than 0, that means PG is greater than RG. If PG is greater than RG, comma, delta H is also greater than delta U. So when delta N is greater than 0, that means delta N is positive, PG is greater than RG. If PG is greater than RG, delta N is greater than 0, delta H is also greater than 0. Example, PCl5G gives PCl3G plus Cl2G. So these are the reactants, these are the products. So number of moles of gaseous products is equal to 1 plus 1, that is equals 2. So here Rg is equal to 1. Then what is delta N is equal to Pg minus Rg. This is the formula. This is equals 2 minus 1, that is equal to 1. So delta N is greater than 0. Delta N is greater than 0. Then delta H is equal to delta U plus RT delta N. Here delta N is equal to 1. So delta H is equal to delta U plus RT. That is delta H is greater than delta U. Delta H is greater than delta U. So this is the second condition. If delta N is greater than 0, delta H is also greater than delta U. When delta N becomes greater than 0, if Pg is greater than Rg, number of gaseous moles of products becomes greater than number of gaseous moles of reactants, then delta n is equal to delta n is greater than 1. So case number 3. Case number 3. So if delta n is less than 0, when delta n less than 0, Pg is less than Rg. If Pg is less than Rg, comma, delta H is also less than delta U. When delta n is less than 0, delta H is also less than delta U. When delta n is less than 0, if Pg is less than Rg. Example, I will give you this example. CH4G methane plus oxygen. When methane burnt in oxygen 2O2G, you will get CO2G plus 2H2OL. In this reaction, CH4G methane in gaseous state, 2O2 oxygen in gaseous state, carbon dioxide is in gaseous state, water is in the liquid state. So here what is Rg? Rg means number of gaseous moles of reactants, 2 plus 1, that is equals 3. Here what is Pg? Number of gaseous moles of products. So this is not considered because water is in the liquid state. We have to consider only the substances which are in the gaseous state. So gaseous products, here only carbon dioxide is present in the gaseous state. How many moles of carbon dioxide is there? 1. So therefore what is delta n? Delta n is equal to Pg minus Rg, that is equals 1 minus 3, that is equals minus 2, that is equals minus 2. That means delta is less than 0, that is delta n is less than 0. And now delta H is equal to delta U plus RT delta n. RT delta n. So delta H is equal to delta U minus RT into 2. RT into 2. So you have to, therefore delta H is greater than, delta H is less than delta U. Delta H is less than delta U. So to make delta U equal, here delta U is greater than delta H by the term RT into 2RT. Therefore delta H is less than delta U. So what is the relationship between delta H and delta U in case of gaseous reactions? Delta H is equal to delta U plus RT delta N, where delta N is equal to Pg minus Rg. Number of gaseous moles of products minus number of gaseous moles of reactants. You have to consider only the gaseous reactants and gaseous products. You should not consider the substances in the solid state and substances in the liquid state. So give an example for a reaction where when delta H is equal, you will be asked when delta H becomes equal to delta U. Delta H becomes delta U when delta N is equal to 0. When delta N becomes equal to 0, if Pg becomes equal to Rg, delta N becomes equal to 0. in that case delta H is equal to delta U. Example for the reaction, 2HIG gives H2G plus I2G. Here Pg equals to Rg equals to, therefore delta N is equal to Pg minus Rg, that is equals 0. Then delta H is equal to delta U. So if delta N is greater than 0, delta H is also greater than 0. When delta N becomes greater than 0, if Pg is greater than Rg, number of gaseous moles of products becomes greater than the number of gaseous moles of reactants, then delta N is greater than 0, delta H becomes greater than delta U. So this is the example for the reaction where delta N is greater than greater than 0. So here Pg equals to Rg equals 1, delta N equals Pg minus Rg, 2 minus 1, that is equals 1. So delta H is equal to delta U plus RT delta N. So delta H is RT, delta H is greater than delta U. Here third case, delta N is less than 0, delta H becomes less than delta U. When delta N becomes less than 0, if Pg is less than Rg. Example, here number of moles of gaseous reactants is equal to 2 plus 1, 3. Number of gaseous moles of products is 1, because you should not consider this because it is in the liquid state. So delta N is equal to Pg minus Rg, 1 minus 3, that is equals to minus 2, delta N is less than 0. So delta H is equal to delta U plus RT for this reaction, it is minus 2, therefore delta H is less than delta U. So these things are very important and it will be asked in the examinations. So thank you very much. So this is enough for today. We will continue tomorrow.